All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning back in. We took a little bit of a week hiatus off of In the Corners because obviously the BCIHL season, met its end with obviously the Red Leafs taking their second championship in a row. Last year they were dominant and this year they were dominant too. But that's not the agenda today. We got a very interesting interview here. We got the head coach of the Vikes with us today. We're going to ask him lots of questions about him. And even more importantly, we're going to talk a lot about the new guys that are coming into the team next year. So before we get into that, Matt, how are you doing today?
Hey, Reese, good to be here with you. We got the coach on the line. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And, the summer routine, I walked the dogs today, and I'm feeling like I'm on my A game. So I'm organized. I'm ready to go. We got an NHL drafted goalie here. Played for the Oil Kings. Played in Nebraska. So we got some things to get into. Of course, the Vikes. We're coming off a tough loss, but we're dealing with it the best we can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yourself, Reese?
I am very good, but most importantly, Alec, how are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning into this interview and giving us some info.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well,
Right on.
Right off the bat, we're going to start off with you and your career. So, where did you start? How did you get into hockey? What about the family? Have lots of family members who got into the game, or was it just you?
Not really. My dad played ball, big fastball guy. But no, just kind of honestly was more of a lacrosse player growing up. I played hockey, Sauk minor hockey, which is just south of Victoria. No, just kind of progressed, I guess, naturally. Like, was an out player for a long time, and kind of just loved goaltending. Loved it when I ever got a chance. And road hockey is where I think I pretty much was always the goalie in road hockey. I got a Dallas Stars colored pads, road hockey pads when I was like 11 or 12 years old, and just always had them on. So no, I just think that the love of goaltending, I think honestly probably just grew through road hockey, as cliche as that sounds, a hockey player. But no, made a move over to Juan minor hockey when I was about 14, and that's where I started playing with Cole and some of the friends I still have till today. So yeah.
That's awesome. So you were playing lots of ball hockey, and funny enough, Keenan Eddy recently, I saw a Facebook post. He's playing in the the Vancouver Island Premier League. There's a new league that just came out for ball hockey. Yeah, a couple of the Vikes guys are playing this summer. I thought that was kind of funny. But you said you were playing out before that. Was that also a ball hockey thing, or did you actually play in a league as a forward?
No, that was ice hockey. No, yeah,
Okay.
ice hockey. I think I wasn't like kids nowadays are like goalies, and like they're like full-time goalies at like 10 years old.
Right,
Like I
right.
was when I wasn't playing in net, I think our league, like our association rule was like you didn't really need a backup goalie. So it was like whoever was the goalie that game, the other backup goalie would play out player. So I pretty much did that right up until I want to say first year Bantam, which is I guess nowadays seemed
Yeah.
not normal, I guess, but
Right.
was normal for the time. So
Oh, I see. Okay. And then, yeah, when did you, at what point in your youth career did you kind of feel like, well, shit, I kind of got a little bit of skill in this. I feel like I could kind of take this a little further. Was it like, usually it's that U13, U14 age? Was it like around that time?
yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I would say it was probably when I was 15. Yeah,
Okay.
like I came from a smaller association, wasn't really of a well-known goaltender, I guess. And yeah, I was tall. So during that Bantam draft, I was kind of I guess someone didn't wasn't on really many WHL teams' radars. So there was a couple camps that I had at 15 that kind of stuck out, I guess, and um, that's when I ended up actually quitting lacrosse and focusing on hockey for the rest of my teenage years.
Coach, you're working with the Pacific Sea Devils. You're the head coach of them. That's under 16. what experiences from your hockey career helps you with that head coaching job? And how is it different from the Vikes, who are grown men?
Yeah, no, it was weird. Like when I started coaching at UVic, I was an assistant coach with Harry, and I was coaching guys older than me. So the I guess I fit in right away, but it was also like a unique experience because I'm talking to guys my age, or trying to coach guys older than you. It's different because they might think, oh, I know more than you, or
Right.
um, that respect maybe wasn't there right away, and that's something obviously earned as a coach. And any level really, like I've been at the academy for a long time now, and when I got the head coaching job for the U16 team, I was quite nervous. It was, I mean, we were all that age one day, or at one time in our life we were
Yeah.
that age. And I was surprised how like I was like, oh, I was only 16 10 years ago or whatnot, but just how much that age has changed. um, Things that they talk about weren't things I talked about at that age, or music, or video games, or whatever they're doing now. So it definitely was an adjustment period for me. And no, I definitely, once I felt more comfortable around them, and I think they felt more comfortable around me, it was good. It was an eye-opening year doing that age group. But no, it was a nice contrast between coaching a university-aged student and a kid that's still in just getting into high school. So no, I really enjoyed it.
When was the time when you were playing as a goalie and were starting to cross over into being a coach? Do you remember
Um,
those times?
yeah, no, I mean, a goalie's a unique position, right? You don't. I mean, you stand there for a long time. So I think what I learned so much just watching while I was in the net, like I was picking up breakouts. You're picking up little certain nuances in the game that maybe a player misses when he's sitting on the bench, or a defenseman might not see. And um, you just kind of take in everything I learned from all the coaches I had. And obviously with my injuries, how my career kind of ended, I definitely didn't have a choice to kind of
Okay.
give up playing. And it was definitely hard for me to do. And I just wanted to stay involved in hockey. I think hockey's given me so much in my life that I just really wanted to give something back, and stay involved.
Right now, you're a goalie coach for the Capitals and the Cougars, and you're a head coach for the Devils, and of course our Vikes. What does your schedule look like in your life? I'm curious about that, with balancing your life with your coaching
Yeah, I mean, it's
duties.
not on paper. It probably looks like a lot. I get that quite a bit, but I mean, with UVic, we practice in the mornings, and after that, I grab a coffee on the way to the rink at the academy, and do my session there. And then once a week, I would head up to Cowichan and work with them. And but yeah, I think like mostly like I'm up at 5:45, 5:30 in the morning. Head out to UVic, head out to the campus, and do the practice there. And yeah, it's like I'm usually done my day around noon, depending on where I am that day, or if I go do a goalie session with the junior B team in the evening. But it's definitely not as bad as I think it looks on paper. Like coaching is a full-time job, as most
Cool.
coaches would agree. It's something
Yeah.
you can't ever really turn your brain off. So it's good. I'm always doing something. I'm always staying on the ice, or if not, I'm in the office working. So no, I really enjoy it. I enjoy staying active.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Before we
wanted
get to
to.
the Vikes,
Go
Reese,
ahead.
you got some more questions before we dig into the Vikes news?
Yeah, just before that, I kind of wanted to go over that 2013 to 14 Grizzlies season. You posted a 915 save percentage. You had a 22-6-0 record. What went well that season? Like, was it a great
Yeah.
team? Was it just a solid,
Playoffs.
yeah, and great playoff record? And that was pretty much the year that got your best film out to eventually get drafted. Cat, wants to make an appearance here. To eventually get drafted to the Kings, right? So, what went well that
Joe.
season?
No, it definitely yeah, it was just like it was just such a fun year. I think we had 7 local players on that Grizzlies team, and Cole was on that team with me, and
Nice.
we were pretty fortunate. I mean, we played so much hockey together and lacrosse together, and um, I think graduating, like going playing junior A hockey and going to your high school at your local hometown, like it's
Right.
pretty rare that happens. That kids have to move away now at such a young age. So Cole and I were so fortunate to be able to do that, and no, we were a great team. We had Fitzgerald triplets who were pretty big names around here on the island in the BCHL, and it was just it was such a good team, and I really didn't. I mean, I played junior B the year before and had a good season and very good season, and with our team, and we were a great team as well. But I wasn't really going into the year thinking like, oh, I'm focused on the draft or anything. It just
Right.
kind of you just kind of, and it really I was going in the year as a backup goalie to Nick Renyard, who was on the Penticton Bees the year before. Very good goalie. I played with him in Major Midget, know him quite well. So I really wasn't expecting much, and I don't know, just kind of, I guess, good game after good game after good game, and Central Scouting came out and for the NHL, and I was on it, and I think that's maybe where my name maybe was thrown around a bit, and scouts started come out and watching our games. But no, it was even thinking back, like I never. I think I was naive to it, and maybe that was a good thing because I didn't let it really like get to me at all. Like I kind of was more worried about who we were playing in our Belmont lunchtime dodgeball league
Yeah.
or something
Right.
like that. So I
That's
think I just
important.
yeah, I
It
just
is.
preoccupied. I think I just kept my mind on other things aside from hockey, and yeah, it seemed to work out at the time.
When you played
Absolutely.
in the States, were you still like 16 or 17 years old or something?
That was
For
the
Tri
next
City?
Yeah, that was the next year. So I was 18 that year.
Okay.
I was still considered a rookie, even though I had already played a couple years of junior. But that league was a jump too. Like I again, like I know I had been drafted, and I think going down there and playing with a bunch of Americans, I was a little nervous, obviously, too that year. But no, I honestly just never really expected a whole lot. Just kind of went in and was there to do a job, and that was stop the puck. And um, yeah, just kind of figured it out as it went on, and also had another good season there as well. And I needed that. I think moving away at 18 was good. I think it's a good age to move away and start growing up a little bit. And no, I really enjoyed my time down there. Different culture, obviously, and getting off the Vancouver Island, playing some hockey was good for me. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's definitely good to get a little bit of traveling under your belt, especially if being if you want to be in sports in the future, whether it be coaching, whether it be goaltender coach, doesn't matter. You just want to get familiar with being in a unfamiliar, territory. But
That's right.
another thing that I like to ask a lot of people this who've kind of been through a lot of different leagues and kind of been upper in the ranks in youth hockey. Were there any players who might be in the NHL right now or were really good at the time that almost inspired you or gave you a good idea of either what to do or what not to do, like as a coach? You might not have been thinking about that at the time, but were there great players that you looked at and you're like, see, that's a good example? Or, I mean, we're about honesty on the show, bad examples of what to do with great talent.
Um, no, I think I mean, I was pretty fortunate. I had such a good friend group. Our 96 birth year age group off the island was very strong. And my best friend actually, well, growing up, still is now to this day. I mean, we started in Souk together, and my dad jokes all the time that we were the first I guess we were initiation. We were the two worst skaters on the ice. And we both ended up being draft picks to the NHL the same year, and that was
Wow.
Dyson Mayo. He was
Holy shit.
yeah,
Wow.
he was. We grew up together on the island and Spencer Hockey Academy and did all these things together. And I think we just Dyson would agree. I was definitely the goofier one out of the group, but I think he just showed me how to approach hockey with like a professional mindset.
Right.
He moved away a little bit younger than I did, but yeah, like even thinking back, like how mature he was, how his mindset of like at 15 was insane. And obviously it worked out for him. He's played in the NHL for a couple of years now, and he's got to go on and live his dream playing up there. So yeah, I would say him, and again Cole. Cole's always kept me grounded and always had me looking at the brighter side of stuff and not taking hockey too serious. So I always had a good friend group that always Mitch Meek, another one who I played on the Grizzlies with.
Okay.
It was a great core group of guys I was always surrounded by.
Yeah, no,
Right
Dyson
on.
Mayo, what
Oh,
a
yeah.
great prospect. Heard lots of good stuff from him. Arizona Coyotes, right? That's where he's with now. Is that was that where he was picked? Was he picked?
He was
Yeah,
picked by Arizona and then he was traded actually in this past deadline to Vegas.
that's right. That's right. So he's with Henderson right now.
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. Definitely a great person to be close with, especially in, and it kind of connects to this next question I had just before we get into the Vikes a little bit. But looking at your coaching resume, it started pretty much at least on, what we can pick up from elite prospects. It started in 2019, and here you are 3 years later. This is pretty much very similar to a lot of, some of the better coaches that are coaching in the NHL, in the AHL right now, in the sense that it starts local and it's diverse. You're not just a one trick pony. You're not, coaching one area and then just kind of, focusing on that one team. You kind of got a little bit of, Cougars over here. And pretty much the question I had in hindsight of that is coaching something that you aspire to do? Is that the dream right now?
Yeah, I think I mean, yeah, like I said, going back to like me not really having a choice to
Right.
end my playing career, it was something I always, yeah, like I always took pride in learning the game and understanding the game, and why a breakout would is needed at this point in the game, or why you need to do a certain type of D zone, why you need to do all that stuff. So I really enjoyed that aspect of just playing and yeah, just truly understanding like the game of hockey and trying to form it into yeah systems and whatnot. So yeah, like yeah, I mean when I started coaching with Harry, it was something that I was still going to school, wanted to help him out, and yeah, I just really found like I don't want to say maybe it's not. I want to say it's my calling, as cringy
Right.
that as that sounds, but I
Yeah.
think
Makes
um,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, when you I guess you can never really prepare yourself for those types of situations, but I think I just found something in me that really stuck, and I mean it's a drug, it's addicting, winning
Yes.
games and losing games and recruiting, like it's addicting, and I've found it yeah, it's something I love and can't stop doing. So and I think too, like when you are a goalie and you maybe start out as a goalie coach, you really have to do a lot more to prove yourself as a head coach. You can be kind of, I guess, backed into a corner of just being a goaltender coach, and that's something
Right.
I've really tried hard to do early on in my career as a coach, to show that I can just do more than
Right.
um, coaching goalies
Right.
one on one, or whether it's evaluating goalies or whatnot. So yeah, I've definitely made that a focal point. Like if you look at my elite prospect, sure, yeah, like it says I'm with a bunch of other programs, but yeah, it's definitely is something I've tried to prove that I can be a head coach at these levels.
Awesome.
You this year, you guys with the Vikes, you got a lot more wins than the last couple of years. What do you guys have going for yourself as a coaching staff? Like your dynamic, what's working really well for you guys behind the bench?
Youthful, modern. Yeah. What would you say?
Yeah, definitely youthful. I think it's definitely something that when you're a head coach and you're looking at, okay, maybe I can't run the best power play, or
Right.
maybe I don't know, or maybe someone has other ideas. Is surround yourself with um, good assistant coaches and a good staff. And I think most coaches would agree that the head coach is only as good as the people that are around him, helping him and
Fair.
supporting him in that position. So like bringing in Cole right away was huge, and something that I knew if I was going to take over as a head coach, I needed him with me. Just emotional support, X's and
That's cool.
O's, getting to know the guys, like very personable, and Josh as well, like running video all year with Josh, power play with Josh. Um, Excited to come to the rink, and Cam Kingsman as well. Like after his senior year, we kind of all sat down and we're like, no, like we want you back as a coach, helping out with everything, and just being like that bubbly personality that he has, and bringing that to the not only to our team but to the coach's office every day. Like always love when he comes in the room and brings his energy. And no, I think it's just it's honestly just the people you hope to bring in and surround yourself with. I think that's the main thing that I guess is makes a head coach good, I guess.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. Makes sense.
Especially for any new players who might be watching this, wondering what to expect. I think that is a good explanation of what you guys have going on, because I know you sit around the desk and talk about each game and the players, and you have a team kind of supporting one another there. So
Yeah, I think I mean, as much as we're youthful too, I think we've all had such different experiences in hockey, and we're not that far removed from university hockey. So Cole just went through it. I mean, I went through it at this program, and I've seen the differences and maybe what we needed, and I focused on those areas. And although Josh didn't play university hockey, I mean, he played one game for UVic, but even he saw like what you needed. Cam just played for us for the last couple of years. He saw what we needed, so we all kind of just focused on different areas and try to make those areas as best we could for our players. And yeah, Matt, like you said, it's paid off as we've won some more games in the last couple of years. So um, yeah.
yeah. What do you think, Reese? I mean, I'm kind of curious what you think is one thing that went well for the team this year that you're really happy about, and then one thing that you think could be better next year.
Yeah, I totally agree. Big question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I mean, it's tough. Like, I mean, we made such big jumps and big strides to what we were last year. And I mean, like, it's been so hard. Like, I feel so bad for a lot of the guys that have been on the team the last couple of years. Like, you go through COVID.
Yeah.
Some guys couldn't play their freshman season. Some guys lost their senior season. So we were really starting right after that COVID year. We were starting pretty much with almost 15 freshmen that hadn't even played a single game in our league, and it definitely showed that first year. But coming into this year, I think like you make you have a camp and you kind of focus on what guys are going to be our leadership group, and bringing in guys like Dustin, making Danny captain. I think just our culture was something that really even surprised me at times, like how close the guys were on the team, not only away from the rink but like at the rink as well. Like we had no guys that didn't want to be at the rink early in the morning. If guys were hurt, they were still up in the rink watching practice, getting an extra reps, getting an extra video. Just the overall buy-in was something that, quite honestly, has been lacking. Was lacking when I was here as a player. Was lacking the last. I want to say before COVID was also lacking as well. So turning that around, I think, just it shows in the games. Guys playing for each other a little bit more, and playing for the logo in front of their chest as well is was good. And I think maybe something we're definitely trying to focus on for next year is just that maybe we could have done a better job of is just, I guess, being more hard to play against. That's something I've really preached in our exit interviews is just, okay, great, you can skate around, you can shoot, you can pass, everyone can do that at this level. But I think just looking back in that VIU series, I mean, they have some players who, again,
Yeah.
skill level is the same as us, but I think there's just a toughness that we lack this year, that I'm hoping that we're going to address over the summer, and bringing it in, and just coming out of camp, just saying that we need this toughness right away. instead of just trying to bring it back for playoffs. But yeah, I think that's something we'll figure it out over the summer, and we'll make sure that that's there for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something that we talked about, when we were doing the broadcast, or even in our show and in the corners, we were talking about before the playoffs even started. That's one thing that this Vikes team needs to do. And not that they weren't doing it all season, but they definitely needed to turn it up by 2 type thing, just to, yeah, kind of throw away the skill a little bit, and get hard, get a lot tougher to play against. They were really good in the neutral zone. I found, like, good sticks, good at intercepting passes and stuff, but they weren't, like you said, VIU had a lot of guys who were very skilled, but then they also were checking, they were finishing their checks, they were all over the place. Seemed like it seemed like they just never really got off the ice. There was no drop off. Everybody was consistently at that level. So, I mean, even knowing that, it's such a huge improvement from last year, right? So, it's still, there's still definitely good things to come from it. But yeah, that toughness was definitely something that was a highlight, and glad to hear that you guys are hoping to address it.
Well, we got a couple tough people up in the booth that are just ready to
Yeah,
lace them
that's
up.
what's going on. Yeah. The toughness is in the broadcast booth. No, just kidding.
Coach, we got a few minutes left here. Would you tell us a bit of some of the players coming in?
Now,
Riley Braun, Hermary Voss, Benger, to go, and Eddie. We got to see them play all year.
Yeah.
But there's lots of exciting players come in. Can we give the floor to you? Would you tell us a bit about some of them?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got the list in front of me. Yeah, bringing in a very big goaltender, Eric Clark. Love his game. I think obviously being a bigger goalie that I was, I can coach him a lot, help him out with some stuff that maybe I went through, or help with his angling in our small rink. Because I mean, there's no really bad shot in the offensive zone with how small our rink is. So
Right.
excited for him. Excited to see him at camp. Quite a bit of local guys. Andrew Braun, defenseman on Peninsula this year. Offensive, played a year with the Grizzlies. Yeah, excited to see what he can bring to our team. Kyle Crew, who's a North Island kid. I think he's up in Courtney. Is his hometown, and stay-at-home guy, but can contribute offensively. He's been playing for Winkler. They're in playoffs right now, and 6'3", he's big, right-handed,
Wow.
and something we needed desperately was right-handed defenseman.
Yeah.
Losing Benger this year, so bringing him in is going to be big for us. And then another local kid, Owen Evers, very fast, great skater. Excited to bring him in. He's tall as well, and will help out Danny on that left side. Offensive again, point per game. I think he was in the league this year. And Marko Tokic, who's playing currently with Saanich in the finals. Tough guy, very tough. Offensive. He scored a couple goals in the playoffs, in the finals already. Like him a lot, like what he brings. He's hard nosed, not afraid to get in your face as a defenseman, which is something that, again, going back to that toughness, is something we needed to address. So very excited about him. Garrett Horechka, who's proven winner, won a championship in the MJHL with Dauphin, and
Wow.
another hard nosed guy who I'm hoping can fill a role for us next year. And then Jovan Malay, who's very fast, speedy, left-handed. Again, just to push that pace against SFU. I think that's something we need to do, and hopefully he can bring his speed for us next year. And then Sam Schofield, hard-nosed guy. Seen him play a lot over the last year with Cowichan, and then when he was traded around a bit this year. But no, very excited for Sam. He's very vocal in the room. Again, when we talk about culture and stuff, it's a guy you want in your room. And no, I'm expecting big things for Sam. Very excited to get him in and get him accustomed to the league. And all these guys, I'm very excited. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, gonna add some more names to that list. And yeah, I'm very excited for next year. Honestly, can't come sooner for me. So yeah, it's going to be a large freshman group, but very excited to bring them all in.
Yeah,
What
definitely
What will happen over the summer leading up to the tryouts, or what will the tryouts look like, or that part of it?
Yeah, so we skate once a week up until I want to say July. And then July we go twice a week in July, twice a week in August. So just working on guys, like singling in on what they need to work on, whether that's foot speed, shot, anything to their hands, anything like that. So we work with the guys all summer, and then camp is going to be a little bit smaller, but yeah, we're going to hammer down systems right away. Who can pick it up, who can't, and just see who can play. Honestly, just there's gonna be tough decisions I'm gonna have to make at camp, but it's all things you want as a coach. I mean, those tough decisions, as much as they suck, it's a good thing. If you have tough decisions as a coach to make on your roster, it means that there's good players at your camp, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So.
Right on.
Yeah, makes sense. Is Andrew Braun related to Riley Braun?
No.
Okay. All right. I had to.
We'll save a bit of money on the name bar, but no, no relation.
Okay.
I like the part, Coach, about the team this year. They put they had a lot of effort. They were there for the practices, and because of that, they were tight. They supported one another. Like the more you put in, the better it'll help you. Because it is a question, like, why would you care about that? If you're there for university, why would you care about the hockey? But I like the part about the potential of what you can get out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that?
Yeah, no, I think too.
I'm on the right track.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I think for a league like ours, or a guy like a team like ours, like you need, like I say it all the time, like I'm not trying to convince guys to play here. You either do or you don't, and I think when you get a group of 27, 30 guys that all want to be here, it's just, and all want to be in the lineup, all want to be getting a point per game, all want to be pushing that first line minutes. It's just, it's such a healthy, I think we just had such a healthy competitiveness to each practice, to each game. And it was week to week, and it was all healthy. It wasn't negative. It wasn't toxic. As coaches, when we put guys in the lineup or not, like it's not personal. It's just strictly based off of what's best for the team. And I think we did a good job of explaining that to the guys, and the guys really just bought in. Like if guys weren't in the lineup every night, it was, okay, what can I do better next practice? It wasn't a poor me attitude or anything like that. So it was super refreshing. I mean, it was such a joy to coach this year because of that.
And not to, we'll definitely leave another question after this because we don't want to end it on a negative note, but just kind of giving us a little bit of perspective on, the difference between this season and last season. You mentioned how there's a little bit of a toxicity sometimes, and there was no sign of a bad attitude this year. Was there signs of that in the past 2 seasons, would you say? Or was it more of like just a lack of interest?
I wouldn't say a lack of interest. I would just say that there were guys here that maybe, how do I say this? Yeah, I guess there was just guys here that I think thought more of themselves, and I mean that nothing against that. I think there's a difference between arrogance and confidence, and
right.
Again, like as coaches, you coach 30 guys, and that's 30 different egos, that's 30 different emotions, and it was a lot to handle that first year as a head coach, and maybe some inexperience on my end. But no, I think the shortened season, it was tough. Like you couldn't let lines ride out for a couple games. If a guy had a bad game, you had to get him out of the lineup right away. And
wow,
there was a lot of that going on. So I think it was tough. It was a long season, only playing 12 games, a lot of practices, just a lot of repetitiveness. And that was something that coming into this year, I'm like, let's go down to Oregon. Let's plan these trips.
Yeah.
Let's get the guys off the island. Let's get them together in areas they've never been together. So I think just doing stuff like that, like it's refreshing. It gets them closer, and I think that really benefited this year.
Fantastic. Well, Reese, we're in our last minute of our interview. Do you think we should wrap up now?
Yeah, no, honestly, great insight, and we really appreciate you coming on. It's great to hear, just the internal information of this great season. Just a great improvement from the last 2 years. I was obviously in the broadcast booth, a little bit of a lower role, but yeah, this year was great, and best of luck next year. Nothing else to say. We're excited to review it from a little bit of a distance, but yeah, anything left, Matt?
No, thanks for the great season, coach. Have an awesome
Yeah,
summer.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
will
You
see
guys
you
too. And
around.
I just wanted to say too, like Cole, Josh, Cam, like we were so grateful with what you guys did all year. Like I clip all the games and put them on Instagram, and it's so cool, like to have you guys and how like honestly quite inspiring.
All right, in the corners, fans. Hey, Reese, you two, pretty good interview there with Coach Dillon. I hope you enjoyed that. That guy's a pro. And, you can tell he has the passion. He's been there at different levels, and he's takes it serious, takes it personal, the program. Cool to hear about the new players coming to the Vikes, as well as some of the other teams that he's involved with. So, Reese, we got a little cut off there. So I'm sending this to you in case you want to do some more card opening. Now, by the way, Vancouver Island Junior Hockey League, Oceanside is up 3-2 over the Preds. Preds, that's Marco Toktich. That's one of the new Vikes guys. He's going to be in action. That game going Friday night, April 7th, game 6. So we'll see about that. But I was thinking I would open some of these, Reese. I'm going to open up these cards and pass it over to you. I want your instant analysis because I know you follow this NHL league. I want your instant analysis on these players. All right. I'll give you one thought, then I'll throw it over to you. So here we go. I know the NHL is coming down there into their final week of the season. Maple Leafs apparently doing pretty good. And of course, the Oilers, which we'll have our eyes on here. Okay, first up, Reese. Steven Stamkos. Okay, also known as the Lightning Thunder Wonder. There he is. What are your thoughts on Steven Stamkos, Reese? Okay, fighting for their playoffs. They got a big trade from people we know out here. They have a goalie that people like called Soroka, which is also the name of a TV writer. All-star Brock Nelson. There we go. A wrestling move and a hockey player. Reese, who is Brock Nelson? What does that mean to you? What BCIHL player comes to mind? And lastly, the third card from Vegas. Alex Pietrangelo. Okay, I think he was an Olympian. Stanley Cup champ with the Blues, right? What else? Born in King City. Now, Reese, that's out by where you're from. Bit of a Gatenby vibe, hey, for Vikes fans, or Morton for anyone from Nanaimo places. Well, there we go, Reese. Thank you, Coach, for the good interview. We'll see you next time I'm in the corners. Everybody take care. Hope this off-season has started up well. I'm going to be releasing some skills videos on Instagram, stick handling, forechecking, back checking, and the mental game. Those are going to be coming up because I just bought myself a hockey stick for playing street hockey. So, hey, Reese, in the corners, fans, take it easy. See you next time. Bye.